And do you want to tell them what the offer is, Shelley?
Yes. So it is a meditation connecting to the radiance of the higher self. And then within 7 minutes, what it's going to do, it's going to help you to access that connection that you were born with, so you can actually begin to get guidance for yourself, and so that you can be more confident in making your decisions, so that you're no longer confused. And in the midst of chaos, there's calmness there that helps you to keep taking the next step forward.
Okay. Well, it's 2:30, so I'm going to have to go and bring on the next guest in just a minute. But I wanted to see, is there one final thing one final word of wisdom, word of inspiration, word of encouragement, one final thing you'd like to say to today's guest?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. And I just want to urge everyone that, if you have this gift within you, you're an entrepreneur, you're born to do it, go for it. Allow your inner wisdom and guidance to help you. And, download that meditation, and you can actually start achieving it today. So I just want to say thank you so much.
And thank you very much, Shelley. And I always want to find out, how did you hear about the either Tough Talk Radio Network or Michele Scism, or how did you hear about this show?
I've actually been following Michele, and I love the work that she's doing, and I just wanted to come on the show and be able to share with the guests. And as a matter of fact, I was able to do it because I accessed my own inner wisdom and guidance, and it was time for me to take a leap. And so here I am. I'm stretching and leaping.
Wonderful. And so Michele has an event here in Houston in September. You heard me mention that in the sponsorship. So I'd love to tell you more about that. So I'll give you a call or something. We can schedule some time to get to know each other in the next week or so.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much, Shelley. And now we'll take it away, Tony, for a commercial break and come back with Brad Raney.
Live at Choice, where your imagination becomes your reality. If you can imagine it, it's possible. If you can believe it, it's yours. We get it. You're done with the way it is now. You're finished with all the frustration around why you feel stuck and your life isn't working. Imagine what your life would be like if you could have all the answers and see new possibilities. We at Live at Choice choose to make a difference. Live at Choice has developed a proven process and a series of questions that lead participants to the answers they seek, gaining new understanding and self-awareness for both your personal and professional life. If you're ready to get to the life you want, contact us today. Visit liveatchoice.com to get started.
Did you know that an estimated 52 million Americans listened to Internet radio in the last month, or that weekly Internet radio audience has increased 60% over the last year, and that more than 8 in 10 people are online from any location? Tough Talk Radio Network is a company dedicated to providing a platform that allows opportunities for guests, hosts, and sponsors to market themselves to the Internet radio medium, where they can be heard by millions. To find out how Tough Talk Radio Network can help you, go to toughtalkradionetwork.com.
Imagine taking your business to the masses using proven marketing techniques. What if you could take what you love and turn it into a six-figure business in the next 2 years? Or a $500,000 business in the next 3 to 4 years? Michele Scism went from struggling to build her coaching practice to doing $500,000 in her business in less than 4 years when she uncovered the secrets to converting audiences to clients. In Cash In on Your Expertise, Michele shares the exact strategy she used to build her business so quickly. Get your free copy today at www.cashinonyourexpertise.com.
And welcome back now to the second portion of Take Action, Get Profits. This is your host today on Memorial Day, May 25th, I believe it is, 2015, and I'm happy to welcome, I'm here to fill in for Michele, who's on her way to Orlando to Suzanne Evans' Be the Change event, where she is speaking and a sponsor. And I am happy to welcome our second guest for today, Brad Raney. So, Brad, welcome to today's show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I do appreciate it. Actually, Michelle's getting pretty close to me. I'm in the Jacksonville area. I should probably jump in the car and go down and check out her event.
You really should, Brad. It's a great event. And so I know you're just teasing, but if you're serious, let me know, because I think I could possibly get you a ticket to get in if you decide you want to go down there. Just speak, and it is so. Okay, so and I noticed on doing my research on that you've already been on a couple of the other Tough Talk radio shows on the Workshop Wednesdays. You were on Judy Hoberman's Selling in a Skirt a few weeks ago, even this month. So 2 in 1 month. That's really pretty good.
Well, Tony's he's kind of like the great connector. Once you get on one of his shows, he'll send you recommendations, and he actually called me and said, you should check out Judy's show. I think you'd be great for that. And here's another one, and he sent me a link to this show, to the Michele show, and I looked at it and said, you know what, that makes a lot of sense, and got it scheduled, and really happy to be on with you and speaking to your audience.
And I have to tell you, in looking over your bio and all of that. So I'm surprised you and I haven't met before, because I'm from Florida, the Tampa area. Actually went to high school and right outside Daytona Beach at DeLand High School. And then I moved to Tennessee, lived in Tennessee for quite a few years before going on to Washington, D.C., and now Houston, Texas. But somewhere along the line, I'm surprised our paths have not crossed. So I know so how did you first hear about the Tough Talk radio network, or Tony, or how did you first get on one of the shows with him?
Actually, another guest who's been on a number of I guess it's Tony's shows specifically, that I'm known for a while. He sent me a text and said he was just on a great show, check it out. I checked out the show, and then I basically called him and said, how'd you get on the show? And he told me. And so I just kind of did a little more research, found out how to get a hold of Tony, used the link, and try to find a date. And then we had a nice conversation, and that's really kind of what led to it. It was a recommendation of someone else who had a great experience by, sharing their specific opportunity or their talents or whatever that particular show was that made sense. And like I said, the more you get to know Tony, the more you figure out he's sort of in the middle of everything, and he kind of connects the dots and really makes things work. So that was the key to it.
That's wonderful. That's great. So another thing we have in common is that I'm in PR, so helping people get on the news or on the local media is my specialty. And also I love helping people tell their stories. And you have some great stories. So you pick a story about either, how you moved from one place to another, how you got into what you're doing, and tell us, who is Brad Raney?
I'm not sure anybody really cares about that part, but let me wrap it into what they might. I grew up in a household where my dad was actually on television from the mid 1950s when they signed on TV to the early 1970s, and grew up in a household at that time where there were 3 TV stations. So when we walked into a restaurant, they would clear a table and find a spot for us. When we walked down the street, people would stop and ask for my dad's autograph, and so I really thought I was in Hollywood, even though I was in a little place called East Tennessee, well, specifically Knoxville, Tennessee. And but we were, there was only 2 or 3 TV channels. So if you had a guy that was doing news and weather and sports and different times during the years, everybody knew him. And I decided that was going to be some of my life plan was to be involved in some level of broadcasting or communications. I began I got an honors degree in broadcast management from the University of Tennessee, and decided that I wanted to run TV stations. That's what I thought what I actually thought that the destiny was. And as I've learned now, having been around for 53 years, what I didn't know or had a clue about when I was 18 or 19, the fact that destiny might change a number of times and may still change again, who knows. But it was one of those things where as I got into TV, I quickly realized that the production side was wonderful, but there was no money in it, and I actually got onto the sales side. Quickly got into sales management and moved around a couple of times with TV station ownership changes, and can you go here and do this for us? And, it was constantly, that's why I always tell people, if it's got a ville in it, I'll live there. We lived in Knoxville for quite a while, then we lived in Huntsville, Alabama for 3 years, and we lived in Nashville for 3 years, and then we went to Jacksonville since 2001. So if it's a ville, it's probably got me associated with it. I haven't been to Louisville yet. Maybe that's in the cards somewhere, but cards, get it. Never mind. Anyway, so
I got it.
As time evolved and we came down here to Jacksonville and really loved it, and I decided that I was really tired of the roller coaster and the moving around, and that's really what it was amounting to. If you're really good, they moved you, and if you're really terrible, you moved yourself. And this was one of those things where I was having to be really good at it, and I kept getting moved to great opportunities, but that meant that the family had to keep moving. And I've got kids, and we really got sick of moving them around, and I was looking for something that I could do that would keep me in one place, frankly, as opposed to the moving. And it just so happened that one of the opportunities, the end of 2008, we were getting all kinds of these market predictions for 2009 that were terrible, awful. I mean, 10, 12 years of market growth was going to be gone within a year. I had a fully commissioned staff at that point, and I didn't want to lose them. And I was trying to figure out a way to distract them, kind of the shiny object kind of thing. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. Let's keep focused on me and the fact that you're not going to make more money in 2009. But I tried to turn 2009 into a year of learning. And I came up with, I'd never written a book, but I'd written blogs and articles. And my dad was also an author, so I'd kind of gotten my arms wrapped around words, and they were really important to me. And during December of 2008, I started writing down a bunch of words that I was trying to figure out, kind of like a meeting series to start the year with, to get things off and running, and again, to kind of keep my guys focused on learning and not money. And the words that I finally got through with the page, they didn't come out in an A through U order, but they all started with A, E, I, O, or U. And I was like, well, that's kind of impressive. Those are vowels. There's 7 of them. That could be a bunch of different workshops, and then we'll try to incorporate them and go to the marketplace and try to calm people down from the fact that they think that their businesses are going to go by the wayside in 2009. And it was really terrible. During the year, every one of my commissioned salespeople had a business that they'd been calling on close. Some of them had multiple ones. One of them had been here 53 years and finally closed because 2009 was the worst economic year since 1930. So we were just trying to get through it. And these 7 words that appeared on the page and turned into workshops and turned into a whole way of thinking kind of led that charge. Their attitude, energy, effort, integrity, intensity, outlook, and uniqueness. And I thought they were just really great kind of sales tools. They helped us actually grow market share in a market that was down 28% by the end of the year. 12 years of market growth gone within 12 months. And we actually went to the marketplace and were able to show a great deal of confidence and caring, and really exuded these 7 things, and they were really important. Well, during the year, I had great networkers on the staff, and great account executives, as they're supposed to be, started coming to me and saying, hey, can you do that vowels thing at my Rotary Club? And I'm like, hang on, you want 8 weeks of material in 20 minutes at a lunch at a Rotary Club? Okay, I'll do my best. And then I got the networking thing. Can you do it at my church group? Can you do it at my men's group? And people started to see the vowels in different ways. A guy asked me, saw me speak at a Kiwanis event or something, asked me to speak at a job fair in the fall. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. These are sales things. I don't know why you think these are going to work for job seekers. And he said, you don't understand what you have. These are life skills. And looking for a job is a sales process. You have 2 important components people need right now. And he gave me a microphone and an hour at a big hotel downtown and 125 people in the room. And I threw together a PowerPoint about job seeking the night before. I had no idea what I was doing. Got through with it, said thank you, started to get the laptop packed up so the next guy could come in. And there was a line of people. And I said, all right, I've either confused the entire room and I'm about to get tomatoes thrown at me, or I've hit upon something. And the questions that were coming out were, can I go to your website? And I didn't have one. And, well, how about your book? Can I buy your book? I didn't have a book either, but I knew there was a need because at that moment it was 12.4% unemployment. The U3, the reported unemployment number, which we all know meant that it was more like 25 or 30%. And here in the great state of Florida, and we knew there was a people were looking for something to hang their hat on. They wanted some encouragement, but they also wanted some practical thinking.